You wake up suddenly, staring at the ceiling, trying to process a jarring image. Last night, someone highly specific showed up in your dream. Maybe an old friend you haven't spoken to in years, or someone you consciously avoid thinking about during the day. While it's comforting to assume they appeared because they were thinking of you, sleep science finds no evidence for this kind of psychic connection. The interaction is happening entirely within the confines of your own neuroarchitecture. Your sleeping brain actively selected that person. That choice was the result of a precise, measurable biological process running in the background while you slept. Tracing the mechanics behind that selection provides a readout of your internal landscape, a perspective far more practical than any superstition. Identifying that perspective requires looking at what dreaming actually is. During REM sleep, the brain performs a period of intense cognitive labor known as memory consolidation. This stylized cross-section highlights the two structures driving the operation: the hippocampus, which handles memory, and the amygdala, which processes emotional weight. Together, they run a nightly filing operation. They sort through the day's experiences, discarding irrelevant noise, and stitching significant information into your long-term memory web. The hippocampus prioritizes material the amygdala flagged with a high emotional charge. The person who appeared in your dream surfaced because their specific memory file carries a heavy emotional tag, moving it to the front of the nightly sorting queue. If this person is linked to a long-standing emotional file, we have to ask why your brain pulled that specific file today of all days. Sleep researchers point to day residue, micro-fragments of waking experience from the last 24 to 48 hours that the brain weaves into your dreams. A trigger often bypasses your conscious awareness entirely. A name overheard in a crowd, a photo scrolling past your screen, or a passing car's brief melody. This timeline models how your brain logs data. You can see a tiny spike of information bypassing the conscious awareness filter. You wouldn't remember this moment if asked, but your brain registered it anyway. During REM sleep, that unnoticed daytime trigger initiates a chain reaction. It touches an old emotional file, pulling that associated face to the surface. While the trigger explains the timing, we also need to look at why your brain uses specific familiar faces as masks for these experiences. In the emotional surrogate model, the brain uses a familiar face as a symbolic stand-in for a broader theme, using a specific person to represent concepts like guilt, nostalgia, or safety. This surrogacy explains why people in dreams often act wildly out of character. Your brain borrowed their face to represent a feeling while ignoring their actual personality. This explains why ex-partners and people with unresolved histories dominate our dreams more frequently than the people in our current stable lives. The amygdala categorizes memories by their status. Resolved relationships go into closed files. Unresolved histories, like a conversation without closure, remain in active loops of unfinished emotional business. These active files receive priority during reprocessing. This creates massive spikes in dream frequency, often documented in the months following a breakup or a loss. Seeing an ex repeatedly is biological evidence of an active internal processing loop. Your brain is still sorting through the emotional material associated with that file. Understanding these mechanics changes how we view the purpose of a dream. Think of this split screen as the difference between a message and a metric. The visual on the right represents the dream, an internal diagnostic readout of your own emotional state. When a specific person keeps appearing, the useful question is, what unresolved emotional file is this pointing to? The answer might be simple nostalgia, but often it relates to what that person represented: a past version of yourself, a conflict pattern, or a sense of safety you currently lack. Ultimately, the dream is a biologically driven message from you to you. It's an indicator of what your brain is working through while you rest.